What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Fatal J. Back like I left something, and I'm glad you're here. Yes, I'm glad you're here. And we're going to do something a little bit different, man, on the Fatal J channel. Today, we're going to rank all of the DCEU movies right up to the point before Blue Beetle dropped. Because according to James Gunn, Blue Beetle is supposed to be the first DCU movie, which I don't really believe. I still believe Superman Legacy is going to be the first DCU movie. But anywho, I'm going to break down this impossible task on Tiermaker, and I'm going to rank them all, and I don't care what anybody has to say. Well, I do care about what people have to say, you know what I mean? Because I cry myself to sleep when people don't like me, you know what I mean? But before we get into the Tiermaker, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit that notification bell, because every time you hit that notification bell, it makes your boy Fatal J feel oh so good and oh so swell. Now let's get into it right here on Tiermaker. The first movie that we're starting out with is Birds of Prey. Now, this is where I have to break down that this movie is completely hot dog. Yes, it is hot trash. You had Harley Quinn going to a police station, shooting up policemen with glitter. You had her blowing up the Ace Chemical plant, and nothing happened to her. This movie was just absolutely bad, even though I did want to eat that egg sandwich that she was eating on. So I'm going to have to give this movie a big flat flying D. Yes. Now, let's get to the next one. Batman vs. Superman, the Ultimate Edition. Now, you might be asking yourself, Fatal J, why didn't you talk about the theater version yet? Look, I'm crazy like that, man, and it came in the Tiermaker order. So, Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition was way better than the theater version. But the only things that hold this movie back from getting a top rating is this. You had freaking Doomsday in the movie, man. And on top of that, Lex Luthor, he was absolutely trash, played by Jesse Eisenberg. So that took down the score a few notches, man. But besides that, this movie is an absolute classic, and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to have to give this movie a straight up flopping A. Yeah, I know you heard me say flopping A, but I have to give it a straight up A. Now, the next movie that we have coming up, we have The Rock Black Adam. You know, The Rock Black Adam, he was supposed to be the guy that was going to change the hierarchy of the DC. Well, the movie flopped, and it was actually one of the worst DC movies in the box office. But as for me, I had a good time with this movie. I thought it was dope all the way through. The only thing that held it back for me was that this movie took place in the same setting. I wanted to see Black Adam in other places, and I wanted to see Shazam, so that held the movie back a lot. So I'm gonna have to rate this movie a big B. I'm gonna have to give it a B. The next movie that's coming up is Man of Steel. Now, I'm gonna be a tad bit biased on this because Man of Steel is actually my favorite superhero movie of all time, but it does have flaws as well, like the Paul Kent scene and ripping your boy Zod neck at the end of the movie. It's just not Superman style. I used to fight that in the beginning. I used to defend that, but looking back now, it was other ways to do that. You could have threw him in the Phantom Zone. So, my rating for Man of Steel would have to be a S. Yes, I surprised you. It's still top notch. It's still the best. It's one of the best DCEU movies of all time. Best superhero movies of all time. What we got coming up next is Wonder Woman. The first Wonder Woman by Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot. I can't really say nothing wrong about this movie. This movie was flawless from beginning to end. I loved it and I adored it. So guess what I'm going to give this movie? I'm going to give it a great big S like Superman across the chest. It was just so good. Gal Gadot killed it. But there's another Gal Gadot DCEU movie that's coming up that is going to be totally different. So you need to get ready for that and prepare your mind. The next movie we got coming up is Aquaman. Jason Momoa debut in the DCEU. I love this movie. It was fun. But that was that. It wasn't an epic piece. It was just a good fun piece. Great CGI. They killed it underwater, but it's not that legendary classic type of heroic film, but it's a good film. It's not great, but it's good, and it's very rewatchable. So what I give this bad boy on Tiermaker? I'm gonna have to give this bad boy an A. Had a good time with it. It was fun. Now, what we got going up next? We got Suicide Squad 2021. Suicide Squad 2021, James Gunn. I had fun with this one too. In the beginning, I absolutely hated it because I was looking at it through Snyderverse lens. I wanted Zack Snyder's universe all the way through. But I watched this bad boy again. This was a great film. The only thing that holds it back, it had a few slow down moments, but the acting, the characters, it was just fun. It was wacky. It was one of them turn your brain off films. And I actually loved the last battle with Starro. That was off the hook. So, on Tiermaker, what would I give this bad boy? I'm going to have to give this bad boy a B. Now, guess what we got coming up now? We got Batman v Superman theater version. Now, when I was in the theater watching Batman vs. Superman, I kept saying to myself, this film is good, but something is missing. And the Ultimate Edition showed me a lot was missing from this film. Warner Brothers cut a lot of what Zack Snyder had going on in this movie. But still, with the cuts and with Lex Luthor and with Doomsday, I'm going to have to give this bad boy a big flat flopping B. Yeah, I'll trick you on that again. I give it a B. It was good. Ben Affleck, best Batman I ever seen. Henry Cavill, best Superman I ever seen. Yes, I said it. And Gal Gadot, best Wonder Woman I ever seen. Yes, I said it. They killed it. It was fun. It was action-packed. The CGI was off the hook. It was just a good time. What we have up next, we got The Flash movie. Now, this is where, in a part of the video, is going to get a tad bit ugly. Hey, man, this is why you here. The Flash movie came out. I seen the movie. The CGI was bad. The story was all over the place. It was confusing. And throughout this whole movie, your boy Flash never did ask the question, who killed his mother? He never did ask that question. He was so focused on his father getting out of jail and bringing his mother back. You're not going to ask yourself throughout the movie, who killed your mom, sir? That just kind of threw me off. So, the movie was terrible. The movie was trash. So, guess what I'm going to give this movie? I'm going to give the Flash movie a big, flat, flopping D. Next movie we got coming up is Shazam, the first Shazam movie. And when I watched this movie in the theater, I had a great time. I was expecting this movie, Shazam, to be a flop, but it was fun all the way through. Even though I didn't like the Henry Cavill parody at the end. I didn't like that, but besides that, from the beginning to the end, the actors killed it. It was a great movie. The villain was dope. I had a good time with it. So, guess what I'm going to give Shazam, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to give Shazam a B. I'm going to give it a B. Now, we got another Shazam movie coming out. It's Shazam Fury of the Gods. That's the next bad boy we're going to rank. And when it comes to Shazam Fury of the God, it was trash. And shout out to my boy Damajanine. But it was bad. I mean, from the beginning of the movie, the few minutes I saw this movie, I knew I was in store for a painful watch. This movie was a painful watch. Every few minutes that went by, I was checking my phone. I was saying, is this over yet? It was bad. And what really hurt this movie too, The Rock. The Rock didn't show up in this. The Rock didn't want Shazam to show up in this movie. Those two movies, those two entities, those two characters needed each other. They needed each other very much because they're rivals. It's like Batman and Robin. It's like Spider-Man and whoever, you know? It just didn't work out, man. They needed each other. So, guess what I'm going to give Fury of the Gods? I'm going to give Fury of the Gods a D. Now, it's going to be a lot of bad DCEU movies coming up because after Zack Snyder left the DCEU, Walter Hamada wanted to do cheaper films that was not connected, and that's when the DCEU got bad. So the next movie we have coming up is 2017 Justice League. Now, 2017 Justice League was very different from the style that Zack Snyder had. Matter of fact, it was trash. They tried to make things like Marvel, and it didn't make sense that you're going to try to make the DCEU like Marvel. The movie was just terrible. The story was rushed. Zack Snyder had to leave because of unfortunate things, and they tried to do it without him, and it just didn't work. The movie was terrible. The movie was bad. So 2017 Justice League. What am I going to give it? I'm going to give it a D. Now, we got another bad one coming up. It's not over. Y'all thought it was over. It's far from over. Wonder Woman 84. Bad movie, bad writing. They did not want to associate with Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder was the glue, the creator of the DCEU. So Wonder Woman 84, horrible acting. It showed that the writing, without writing, Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins cannot deliver. So what do I give Wonder Woman 84? A D. I give it a D. Last three movies we got coming up in the game. Now, this one right here was finger looking good. Zack Snyder's Justice League. The Snyder Cut, ladies and gentlemen. Fans from all over the world was fighting hard for this movie. And guess what? It paid off because they got a dope story. It was very different from 2017 Justice League. This bad boy here, CGI looked good. Story went together. And even the two lesser known characters, Flash and Cyborg, who didn't have much of a role in 2017 Justice League, was the two shining stars, and it was dope. Darkseid was the villain in this one, not Steppenwolf. And even Steppenwolf had a different look to him, and it was fire. I mean, the history lesson alone that was in this movie was fantastic. They could have made a movie off the history lesson by itself. And Zack Snyder, I hope you release that too. So what do I give this movie? I give it a A. The only reason why I didn't give it a S is because the last scenes, like the bonus scenes, to me, it never did mash well with the rest of the movie. Even though I love the nightmare scene, and even though I love Ben Affleck talking to Martian Manhunter, it just was off at the end. You know what I mean? And I know it was fan service, but still the same. Still fantastic. Classic movie. I'd give it an A. What movie that we got going up next? We got Peacemaker. Now, this is not a movie. It's a series, but I still added it in there. You know, I still was looking at this show with Zack Snyderverse eyes. You know, I didn't like it in the beginning. I went back and watched it. This is a fantastic show. Very entertaining. Very funny. What do I give Peacemaker? John Cena Peacemaker, James Gunn Peacemaker, I'm going to have to give it a B. It was very good. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, 2016 Suicide Squad. That's David Ayer's theater version, which the Ayer cut is supposed to come in the future, which is supposed to be like Zack Snyder's Justice League. But as I watched this movie, I enjoyed it. Margot Robbie, Will Smith, they killed it in this. Jared Leto's Joker was fantastic in this. Had a great time. Very much connected to Zack Snyder's DCEU with the story, the universe. I love this film. I had a great time. Even though I asked myself, like Batman vs. Superman, I told myself, something is missing from this film, I still had a great time. So guess what I'm going to give this bad boy, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to give it a B. Yes, I'm going to give it a B. You guys let me know in the comments below, do you think my list was off? And if my list was off, you guys let me know what you will put on the different tier making levels in the comments below. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit that notification bell. Because every time you hit that bell, it makes your boy Theta J feel oh so good and oh so swell. And I'm out of here. Ninja vanish.
And we living it up.